Bom, boa tarde, pessoal. É um prazer estar aqui na Demo Brasil pela primeira vez. Bom, então a gente vai começar. A UKTI aqui no Brasil é uma agência do governo britânico que apoia empresas brasileiras no processo de internacionalização para o Reino Unido. E esse ano nós trouxemos os 2 coordenadores dos principais programas de empreendedorismo no Reino Unido, o Derek Goodwin e a Paola Cuneo, que são coordenadores do Global Entrepreneurs Program, o Derek, e a Paola Cuneo do Sirius. Tá bom? Então, vamos começar. So, Derek, why the UK?
Bom dia. I'm going to answer that in 3 ways. I think the first point I'd like to make is that listening to the wonderful opening remarks, unfortunately there was no reference to collaboration with the UK, and that's something we're here to address. We want to build collaborative ties with Brazil. There's lots of great things going on here, obviously, which we recognise. So we want to form links. And what does that actually mean? So you've just seen a commercial for the Global Entrepreneur Program. But I think more than that, what it gives is a reflection and a summary of the opportunity that we as the Global Entrepreneur Program can bring for the global entrepreneurship community. So why the UK? Well, the UK has a wonderful ecosystem. Everyone talks about ecosystems, and one of the other speakers talked about the difference between now and 10 years ago. If I was sitting here 10 years ago, I don't think I would have been able to say that. But in that 10 years, the UK has become a remarkably dynamic and innovative country, thanks to policies from government, but also recognition that entrepreneurs are going to be the people that dig economies out of the mess that they were in. So much so that from a macroeconomic standpoint, the UK growth this year will be 3.1%. So we've come out of the economic crisis. There are massive opportunities there. It takes literally 20 minutes to set up a company in the UK. We've got access to great skills. There's 4 of the world's top 10 universities. And I could go on, but essentially the UK has a tremendous economic and entrepreneurial landscape. We have the fastest growing tech cluster in Europe in Tech City. I'm sure many of you have heard of that. And we've got 290 nationalities in London alone doing business. So we really are a melting pot. And we want to connect all the ecosystems around the world to form global businesses for startup, micro-national businesses. That's what we want to create. So hopefully we can work together. And if we want more information, please talk, ask questions.
Very nice. Paola, why would a company choose the UK as their first step abroad?
Hi, hello everyone. So why abroad? So when you are an established company in your market and you want to go somewhere else, doesn't matter how successful you are already, it's very challenging because there's so many new dimensions that you need to think of. So first of all, I need to say the UK is a great market that welcomes international people, and I am the example. Because when you go somewhere else, you want to concentrate 1000% on setting up your business. So you want to go in a friendly environment. So we heard from Derek all the great reasons why the UK is great. But what the UK does, it gives a fantastic springboard to go first and then go to other markets. So to establish yourself in the UK, and then you have for example, you have the time zone, and by being the UK, you can trade in 12 hours with the whole world. That is great because you have access to clients. You have the access to clients in Europe, but you have also access to clients both in Asia and in America. So when you go abroad, also you want to establish quickly, and we heard all about setting up the company and easy to do business. But what the UK has, for example, the infrastructures, there's initiatives, you can easily find office space, you can find landing packages. Raquel was mentioning the London example, so other regions in the UK, other cities, they offer easiness, landing packages where it's very easy and companies can concentrate on setting up the business. There is also the fact about finding clients and finding funding investment. So the UK is the best market in Europe for angel investors and for VCs. And what we see, I actually see myself on the companies that I'm bringing in, international investors are coming to the UK because they see the quality of the companies, and also because they see they get good valuations. So they also look at the UK, whereas before they were only looking at Silicon Valley, and I don't want to say bad things about Silicon Valley, but they do look at the UK. So it offers also great opportunities for someone who wants to raise funding. And then once a foreign company is established in the UK, it gives the credibility to then set up in other international markets.
Just adding.
No, I think yours is working.
Is it working? Yes. Just adding to that, obviously we recognise that Silicon Valley is the global ecosystem for entrepreneurs. And the last thing we would do is sit here and try and say that we were in competition with Silicon Valley. But I think it is a global marketplace. And what the UK offers, as Paola said, is a first step. We, as the Global Entrepreneur Programme, we've brought over 350 businesses, about 260 in the last 4 years. And the reason they come to the UK isn't for the UK, it's to scale their business in international markets. So they recognise the opportunity to come to the UK, to develop the product, to access new markets. And we understand they need to be in the US, but they use the UK as that first route into the United States. And that's been a compelling, one of our compelling propositions. And the fact that we have entrepreneurs on our team to help them underlines that.
Very nice. So what the GEP offers?
Yeah, I guess I probably started talking about GEP just a moment ago. Essentially, the Global Entrepreneur Programme. Hello? Yes. Testing. The Global Entrepreneur Programme is a 10-year programme now. We started, I guess it was a good time. It was after the crash, the original internet crash. Our government said we need entrepreneurs in the UK because the UK is really good at developing technology. Was, I should say, this is past tense, but we weren't very good at selling it. So the idea was to attract overseas entrepreneurs into the UK to create a melting pot of innovation. And I was tasked with finding a model to do that, having spent a number of years in Silicon Valley myself. So the first thing we did was decide to hire our own entrepreneurs to find entrepreneurs that have got the battle scars and the experience of scaling and growing businesses, early stage tech businesses. So what the GEP does, move on 10 years now, we have a team around the world in North America, Europe, Asia, Australia, India. We don't have anyone in South America, which is why we're sitting here, obviously. But essentially what we do is, once we've identified a company and an entrepreneur that we feel has the potential to become a global business, or certainly to scale internationally, we bring him into the program and he gets access to all the networks that our entrepreneurs have, networks including funding networks. Our companies in 10 years have raised over £1 billion in equity investment. So we're pretty good at finding investors and finding, obviously, the right companies for those investors. So we've got a pretty good track record, but all aspects of mentoring, accessing, as I said, finance, introductions to potential customers. We have very good links into major corporates. Every major corporation has an HQ in the UK, so we can access those through our own networks. And then, of course, there are government networks, such as Raquel's team here, all around the world. We're in 120 countries. So we have trade teams. So our companies, when they land in the UK, the next stage for them to export, we have our offices all around the world to plug them into.
Very good. How about Sirius?
Right, Sirius is the latest child, it's only 1 year old, and it's for graduate entrepreneurs. So we recognize graduates with ideas. When they go to a new country, they need lots of support to become sustainable business. And the support is coming in the form of office space, some money to live on, to have enough time to develop the idea, to gain the first clients, and to be ready to be funded. We also recognize that as a foreign entrepreneur, you have to have the right to live in the UK, so we endorse for visa. And we do not take any equity, because the journey of an entrepreneur would be tough. There will be moments that the equity will have to be released for funding. So we get the entrepreneurs to keep all the equity, and we help them on the journey to be ready to create a sustainable business to then grow internationally.
Very good. Can you give an example for Sirius?
Yes, so I'm very happy to say that even if we are in our first year, we have a few Brazilian graduates who are part of our programs. So in terms of sectors, we have many different ideas, from clean tech, creative tech, fashion, food. However, the Brazilians are up there with really, really innovative idea. One company is, we can classify in agri-tech. They have developed a great algorithm to export perishable food in a very clever way. Instead of just working with spreadsheet, they've done their own application, so it becomes easier to export food around the world. And then we have another company who just landed 2 days ago in Scotland. So we're really pleased to have them in the UK.
How about GEP?
I think, as I said, I've got 350 to choose from, but I'll just focus on one. One of the guys in the video there, the young Indian guy at the end, very interesting story. He had graduated from the Indian Institute of Technology in Delhi. The guy is a genius and had developed some great carbon capture technology. He went to Silicon Valley to try to raise $3 million. He was very, very young, very early stage. And he went over to an organization called TIE, which is the Indus Entrepreneurs, which is a massive Indian group of investors in Silicon Valley. And they said, we love your technology, but does it work? And he said, well, I haven't got anything to show you. And they said, well, go away and show us, make it work, and then we'll invest. So we met him at a function, at an event like this in Delhi. And he met one of our deal makers who spent 20 years building clean tech businesses. And fast forward 1 year, during that period, he came to London. The development of the technology is still in India. That makes sense. Why would he move that to the UK? But in the UK, we introduced him to the Department of Energy, and they awarded him a £3 million grant. We've also just helped him raise a significant amount of money in early stage terms from an investor. And as those projections he gave on that video have blown out the water, he's got about 20 people already. So he wouldn't have been in that position without meeting us. And so now there's a business that's got the development in Delhi, the HQ hub in just outside London, and he's got a guy now in Silicon Valley. They're desperate to talk to him.
Cool. So we have here 2 separate routes. We have Sirius routes, which is for early stage startups who have just started their business and are probably still in the early stages of finding their ground and working on the idea. And then we have GEP here, which is for more consolidated startups. So if they already have a product, they already developed a bit of the market and are looking elsewhere, for a second step, probably abroad. So this is what these guys are for. And it's their first time in Brazil, so why Brazil? What are you looking for here?
As I said, the world is really, I think globally it's a global marketplace. We started 10 years ago. We trialed in North America of all places and started building businesses, collaborating with North America. We then moved into India, Australia, Europe and Asia. And we don't have any links in South America. We are a government program. Our team that we have work for us half the time, and half the other time they do their own thing as entrepreneurs. But we have I'm sure the government people in the room will understand, we have a limited budget to create prosperity. So we've just become more efficient at what we do. We've got a little bit of extra money, and I decided that we need to complete the global map, and have links and collaboration in an area which we know is growing rapidly, has some great technology, some great people. The fact that Demo Brazil came along and we decided to work, it seemed too good an opportunity to miss. And we were really, as I said, we would really like to develop links with organizations and people and entrepreneurs. I think it was the gentleman, Mr. Silverman, that said how when you're in a room, you could be anywhere. When there are entrepreneurs around, you really could be anywhere. Sitting here, I could be in San Jose or Tel Aviv or Sydney, Australia or Mumbai. It is the language, the smell of the place is just what entrepreneurs give out, and it's really exciting. So we would really like to get closer and collaborate and work together.
How about Sirius?
Okay, so why Brazil? First of all, Brazil is very welcoming. It's always a pleasure to be here. And very simply, we're looking for talents. We're looking for talents who wants to set up a business internationally. And if we believe in Brazil, there's lots of talents, there's lots of drive, and there are great links with the UK, and that's why we like to help those talents who believe they want to set up internationally.
One thing I would say is that I've timed this really badly. If I'd come along in about 3 weeks' time, I could have watched England win the World Cup, but there you go.
So we do have some minutes for questions. Does anybody have a question for us? Eu. Opa.
O Reino Unido é considerado na prevenção primária como excelência. E na parte de hipertensão, eles têm um centro também de excelência. Poderia dar alguma informação sobre isso, que nós temos interesse em saber sobre esse assunto?
Desculpa, você pode repetir? Eu não peguei a área, na verdade.
Área de saúde.
Ah, okay. He wants to know more about the health sector of Brazil and of the UK, actually, because we are known for that.
Health sector.
Yes.
The three largest employers in the world are the Chinese railways, the Chinese Army, the Indian Railways, and the British National Health Service. So it's a huge market. Trying to get into that National Health Service isn't the easiest thing to do, but there's been a real drive from our government to adopt new innovation and new technology. So MedTech, which is obviously the convergence of technology with medical provision, is as it is globally, is a rapid growing sector. There's a new MedTech accelerator that's opened in London called HealthBox, and there's a bunch of companies from mainly around Europe, but other parts of the world that are in there alongside UK startups. So it's a massive market. Accessing the right channels is a challenge. I wouldn't want to sit here and say it's easy. There's a massive opportunity, and just get on a plane and money will fall out the sky. But we have people that we can provide advice and guidance.
Acho que eu posso dar um exemplo de um estudo de caso que a gente viu em Manchester Corridor. I'll just say it in Portuguese. It's about Manchester Corridor and the Science Park there. Eu tive a oportunidade de conhecer uma empresa que criou um microchip para engasgo, evitar engasgo. No Brasil, engasgo é a segunda maior causa de morte de idosos. A gente acha que é por pneumonia, porque infecciona e tal, mas, na verdade, foi um engasgo de um idoso que, infelizmente, foi para o pulmão e teve esse problema. E foi uma tecnologia que foi desenvolvida em Manchester, no Manchester Science Park. Começou com 3 pessoas e uma ideia de fazer uma tecnologia. E, junto com a universidade, com o Sistema Nacional de Saúde, que é o NHS, que o Derek citou aqui, eles, na verdade, conseguiram acessar a base de dados do governo, porque tudo é conectado, validaram a tecnologia, testaram, fizeram vários testes dentro dos hospitais que estão vinculados nesse cluster, e hoje a empresa cresceu. Então, eles foram passando de módulo para módulo. Hoje eles têm 15 funcionários lá, conseguiram o orçamento do Technology Strategy Board, que é a FINEP britânica, para desenvolver mais essa tecnologia, e hoje eles exportam para 15 países. Estão tentando a nossa aprovação da Anvisa para poder disponibilizar essa tecnologia aqui no Brasil também. Mas esse é só um dos exemplos como o setor público e o privado interagem no Reino Unido de forma bastante sinérgica, né? Você tem uma empresa, você tem uma ideia, você vai para uma universidade, pode captar um recurso do governo, testar no próprio mercado, seja ele público ou privado, validar a sua ideia e crescer como negócio. E é assim que o governo explora não só o mercado de saúde, como uma série de outros mercados também. Mais uma pergunta? Aqui. Tem um microfone, espera só um minutinho. Aqui.
Good afternoon. I would like to know if you usually support mostly digital companies, software companies, or entrepreneurs, or if you support hardware entrepreneurs, companies, and if you believe that hardware companies in Brazil can compete globally, and if you would like to support a hardware company here in Rio de Janeiro.
That's easy. We work with any entrepreneur that is going to add value or is going to provide a solution. I guess if you look at our team of 12 deal makers, many of them are from the mobile sector, digital, creative media, but we also have people in advanced materials and Internet of Things, SaaS type areas. So no, we will work with any entrepreneur if he's providing some. It has to be something that is either disruptive or is going to be add something that isn't already in the marketplace. And when I say the marketplace, I don't limit that to the UK. So it can be hardware. We work with hardware companies. We work with software companies. I mean, one of our deal makers is in the audience. Do you want to say anything?
Yeah, I think actually, hi, my name's Andrew Humphries. I'm one of the deal makers that Derek referred to, and I'm really excited to be here in Brazil. I've seen some amazing companies already, some of them hardware companies. I was talking to a med tech hardware company earlier on who've just come back from Manchester. And they found some really exciting opportunities already. So without doubt, we think it's really exciting for Brazilian businesses to build their hardware here and export it and sell it all over the world. And the UK is a perfect base for you to do exactly that kind of thing. So I'd be interested to talk to you a bit later on. In fact, maybe now's a good time for me to talk about what we're going to be doing. I'm going to take over the stage just for a second, and we'll come back to your question in a moment. Okay, so we know that you're going to see 34 amazing 4-minute pitches over the next day or so. And the criteria that this group of judges are going to be judging will be obviously for the best company, the best entrepreneur that they're going to see in this environment. But as you've been hearing, we're really interested in businesses that want to internationalize. And so what we decided to do is put on our own little pitching competition, which is going to take place tomorrow on our stand outside. It's open to all the 34 companies, but also to any other businesses that are here. And we've decided to offer a very special prize for the entrepreneurial business that we feel is most ready to internationalize. It doesn't matter if you're hardware-based or software, if you're building any kind of technology, if you have any kind of entrepreneurial activity, but if you feel that you're the right organization to come on a trip to the UK, we're going to facilitate 4 weeks. I'm going to offer it 4 weeks. I know you've been talking about 2 weeks. But we're going to actually give you 4 weeks of office space in an accelerator in the UK. And we're going to take you on a tour of all of the appropriate entrepreneurial clusters and spaces in the UK. So you can see what the UK has to offer and how you might be able to grow your business. Unfortunately, you have to get your own way there. So, as an entrepreneur, you'll be able to find the right flight, won't you? You'll be able to figure out how to get yourself there. But once you're there, we'll make sure we look after you, and we'll show you all the best places to be, and we'll introduce you to the sorts of people that can really help you grow and internationalize your business. It's a really exciting time for entrepreneurialism. Geraldo said it. We're at a really interesting point in time. And here in Rio de Janeiro, we can really feel the passion that you have for growing your own businesses. And as Derek said earlier on, we want to build a bridge between Brazil, and particularly Rio de Janeiro, and Europe and the United Kingdom. So we're really excited to see as many interesting new people. And so please come along to our stand and pitch your business. We'll give you 4 minutes too. And if for nothing else, it'll give you a chance to practice your English, because you know what? That's a really exciting, important thing to do. So we're looking forward to seeing some really exciting new businesses. As I say, I've met some already. Anything we can do to help, anything we can do to grow your business and help you become wealthy and rich and grow business here in Rio, but also all over the world, we're really here to do that. Thanks very much indeed.
O Andrew Humphries tem painel dele amanhã à tarde, 6 horas. É o penúltimo papel, só com ele vai contar um pouco mais da história dele, do background, como ele faz isso no mundo. Vamos pegar só mais uma pergunta e aí a gente tem que encerrar já.
Good afternoon. I would like you to talk about the process, the selection process. How do you select the companies?
Pro Global?
For GP or Sirius?
For the two.
Both of them.
For both. I think that GP, the companies select themselves in the sense that we work like a VC in that we talk to lots of companies. Of the 350 plus businesses that we have established in the UK, 90% are flourishing. The other 10% have been acquired. So we back winners. We can spot winners. We're introduced to many, usually through investors who want their portfolio businesses to internationalize. So we get a lot of referrals through investors. So it comes down to the quality of the entrepreneur. Can that guy run a global business from wherever? And is the business itself scalable, or is it something looking for a problem? And mostly, I guess, our deal makers are, Andrew, they're entrepreneurs. They work for us, contracted to us, but their reputation's on the line. When they're choosing their companies, they want to make sure that the company that they're going to bring into their networks will have the potential to grow. So it's about chemistry, it's about business opportunity, quality of the entrepreneur and quality of the technology.
For Sirius is via competition, because we have applicants from all over the world. So the competition is at www.siriusprogram.com, and it's actually live now. The deadline is 30th of June, so if anybody's interested, there's a few more weeks to apply. And at the end of the competition, we have a panel of independent judges. They select a shortlist, and the shortlists are picked, and there are interviews via accelerators. Because so the accelerators will pick the companies they know they can help to grow and to turn into successful businesses.
Bom, só para reforçar, o Global não tem prazo, tá? Na realidade, é sempre que o empreendedor tiver um interesse, é só entrar em contato com a UKTI no Brasil e a gente faz esse link com o Global na hora que a empresa estiver certa. O Sirius é um programa que tem chamada, que é isso que a Paola falou, que as inscrições encerram 30 de junho. Ok? We're gonna have to wrap it up. So I would like to thank Paola and Eric for coming here all the way down to Brazil, and hopefully you will be able to speak a bit later with you guys. We also have a program in our stand, and if any of the companies want to register for pitches for tomorrow morning, you can do it in our stand with Danilo Silva, who is here. He will be there taking registrations, okay? So if you would like to pitch in English for 5 minutes, then please come to him and he will let you know, okay? Obrigada, pessoal.